Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Principle number 8. I'll give you a little recap of what we're doing, and I don't know why I started this, but on April 1st, I thought, well, there's 30 days in April, and we have a lot of things to do, and a lot of people are being challenged right now. So 30 days in April and 30 human relations principles. We could touch on one every day. So we've gone through numbers 1 through 7, and today we're at number 8. Before we get started on that, I just have to share an idea that came to my mind this morning, and that was that I was thinking back on something that I watched on Netflix a couple of weeks ago, which was the World War II colored version of the World War II on Netflix. And one of the scenes on there, they were talking about the Battle of Midway. And the ship, the Yorktown, the aircraft carrier, the Yorktown, was badly damaged in the Battle of the Coral Sea in 1942, and it went back to Hawaii to be repaired. And the ships had told Admiral Nimitz that it was going to take about 3 months to get the ship back into fighting shape. And Nimitz told him, you got 3 days. Why do I say that? I have to tell you, they've been working on the roads here for 3 years. We could use Admiral Nimitz. They've been, the overpass near our exit going over I-75 at exit 22 here in Georgia, they've been working on that thing for 3 years, And I know from my days in Michigan that there are roads up there that are not talked about how long it took in years to repair them. They talk about generations because it takes forever. Why don't we have a Nimitz in the DOT so that Admiral Nimitz could tell him, you got 3 days to get this road fixed? There's no traffic out there. There's nobody on the roads. And you look at the people, and there's like 8 people out there working. Well, 3 people working and 5 people watching what the other people are doing. Absolutely crazy. All right, got that out of the way. So let's get to principle number 8. I don't know if you've ever known somebody or worked with somebody or lived with somebody that has that tendency to ask you a question, not to hear what the answer is, but only to talk about the thing that they want to talk about. I have an individual that I interact with once in a while now that this person, all they do is they'll ask you a question, and then as you start answering it, they just go on and talk about what they wanted to talk about. Sometimes I want to say is, look, don't even ask me a question. Just tell me what you want to tell me. Just go ahead and tell me. It's whatever it is, whatever you're interested in. And human relations are that way. We tend to surround ourselves with people with like thoughts or like activities or like desires. And that kind of limits us to the sphere of individuals that we tend to hang around with or work with or be with. So this principle is really about finding out about other people. If you really want to connect with somebody, and maybe you don't know if you want to connect with that person, one of the things to do is to talk in terms of their interests. Good morning, Mary. To talk in terms of their interests. And that's what the key is. And to be a good listener, as we heard yesterday, and talk and get the other person to talk about themselves. And this is to have a subject matter of what they're interested in. So sometimes that's really difficult, and it's like flexing a muscle. If you want to develop a muscle, it takes the same type of exercise over and over and over again to start developing that muscle. And this principle takes some time too, because we're going to revert back to wanting to talk about the things that interest us, and we're going to have to fight that and really focus on talking about what interests the other person. the amazing thing about this is there's a lot of individuals that you work with, that you know in your neighborhood or you interact with, and maybe on Facebook or Instagram or someplace else that you have a connection area. And there's some people that you see the things that interest them, and you tend to talk about only the things that interest you, and those two spheres don't always interact. They kind of bump into each other. So one of you has got to reach out and find about other things about that, because maybe you're not interested in that thing that other person is interested in at all. Maybe it's because you don't know much about it. So when you start finding what the other person is interested in, you may find out that maybe you are interested in that, or you may go on to a next level and find out that there's another subject matter that the two of you see like to like on. So it's really important that we do two things. One is that we focus on what the thing that interests the other person. And the other thing is, when you ask somebody a question about something that interests them, even if it doesn't interest you, spend the time listening to them to find out about it. Don't use it as an opportunity for you to go in and tell your story. There will be time down the road that you can share your story. That one-upsmanship, that I've got a bigger story than you, that one-upsmanship never builds good relationship. And what it does is it erodes the desire in the other person to want to be around you, because they know after time that it's just a phony thing, that you're showing phony interest in that other person by asking that question. There's no sincerity there. So principle number 8, talk in terms of the other person's interest. The benefit to that is you may find interesting avenues that the two of you can, move down and find a connection together. So it's a great principle, fantastic principle to work with. So because we are tendencies, I always use in my classrooms, the old Toby Keith song, I want to talk about me, right? That's what we want to do. We want to talk about ourselves. But when you're able to stretch that mental muscle and start really getting interested in what interests the other person, really capturing that, then you really start building some relationships with those other individuals. So again, talk in terms of the other person's interest. It'll benefit you greatly. Tomorrow we talk about making people feel important. All right. Yep, we'll get there. May have some surprises for you too tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Please stay safe and social distancing. You don't have to social distance here on Facebook Live. So, Zoom or other things like that, connect with somebody. Have a chat with them. See them eye to eye. Have a great day.